we're supposed to do this not worth your time thing. Apparently, whenever this issue comes up, Steve's brain goes into sort of algorithmic autopilot, and he says, "Let's talk about best pizzas, best toppings on pizzas, best prep on pizza," and every now and then he'll just start trailing off, looking into the sunset, thinking about best rosebud or whatever, and just saying, pizza. So, Steve, take it away. Best and worst pizzas, and this is your shot.
So I'll give very quick context for that. Look, I think there are certain things you can ask people that tell you a lot about them. So when I meet somebody or I see somebody, sometimes people on the staff, and they've got their AirPods in, I will ask them what they're listening to. Because if it's a podcast, I ask them what podcast, that can tell you something. If it's music, I think that can tell you a lot. I love to ask people, what music are you listening to, sort of at any time? Do you think that...
What if it's like Bismarck's most famous speeches to the Reichstag? That's another thing. I mean, we want a unified Reich. Right?
It's revealing no matter what.
Yeah. Okay, go on.
Yeah, it is revealing. Yeah, I think pizza can sometimes serve the same function. I mean, there's a risk of over analyzing, I suppose, but people who like pineapple on pizza that's a particular, it tells you something if they like pineapple on their pizza, just the same way people who prefer Miracle Whip over traditional mayonnaise tells you something about those people. So I just always I think it's interesting to know, like, what do people like what pizza would you never eat? What pizza is your favorite? So my favorite kind of pizza, I really like Detroit pizza. I was traveling with Jonathan Martin of New York Times and Politico. We went to a Detroit pizza place. This is probably 15 years ago. I'd never had Detroit pizza before, and it was outstanding. And you can get really good Detroit pizza at Costco, like 2 for $10 or something. Phenomenal.
Why don't you explain to listeners what Detroit pizza is? Not everybody knows.
I mean, it's a thicker crust, but it's crispy and crunchy. And it's sort of overstocked typically with toppings. So if you get a sausage and pepperoni Detroit style pizza, there's going to be a lot of sausage and a lot of pepperoni, but it's not the kind of lasagna that Chicago pizza is. Really good.
It's a special cheese, or it's a different type of cheese than your strict mozzarella, I believe.
I think it's a combination.
Correct. There's like some provolone type cheese on it.
Yeah. Although the mozzarella, I think, is the base usually. I could be wrong about that. But my favorite pizza, to end the suspense, I know people are really wondering about this, is a super, super thin crust pizza, almost a cracker type consistency, with sausage, pepperoni, mushroom, and onion, and a ton of cheese. But it's really important that the cheese just begin to brown. It can't be just white cheese. That's not cooked enough. And there's a place in Wisconsin that does this pizza. I mean, this is, I think, the reason that I like this kind of pizza, called Zaffiro's. So for any political reporters listening or political junkies listening who are going to the Republican convention, you will find me at Zaffiro's. But that's how they make their pizza, and it's exceptional. It's like it's like you're taking a bite of a cracker. You hear the crunch, but it's sort of thick with cheese and tons of the toppings. The sausage in particular is unique and standout. So that's the best pizza. Are either of you pineapple pizza types?
So I should this is like the Nikki Haley stuff. I have to fully disclose. My wife is a big Canadian bacon and pineapple Hawaiian pizza fan. I have grown to appreciate it. And we can cut her some slack. She grew up in Alaska. The ability to get fresh pineapple was like a big deal. I don't know. I mean, root causes, whatever. I don't hate it. It's not my favorite. I'm generally with you. So New York style pizza is a variant of Neapolitan, which is the thinner crust. I don't like the super, super thin crust. I like a thin crust. I think it cooks better, it cooks more thoroughly. You get that chew, which I think is great. My ideal pizza is usually sausage and pepperoni, occasionally hot peppers, like banana pepper kind of thing. And then what I like to do is drop a huge pile of arugula on top, do balsamic and olive oil, and eat it like convince some part of my brain that I'm eating an embellished salad.
I think that's part of why people like pineapple on their pizzas. They're like, "What? I'm having fruit."
Exactly. It's
I
like
did
the
not mean to
Chicago
get
hot
myself
dog.
in trouble with Jess. By the way, I did
Yeah,
not.
I know.
Look,
I
I love people who like pineapple on their pizza. I just think you can learn something from them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tells you something.
Warren.
So, I mean, the thing about pizza is it is so versatile, right? Like depending on how I feel, I've had everything from like a great, pesto and white pizza with chicken to, a supreme. Meat lovers, I like the thin crust. I like the thick crust. I like the New York style. I actually like in small doses the Chicago deep dish style. It's controversial to call it a pizza.
It was a great casserole.
Exactly. But it's all good. I'm sort of ecumenical when it comes to pizza in that way. But the question is, what is the best pizza, or what I like to think of as sort of the platonic ideal of pizza? It's not the pizza I would get every single time, but if you were to say to me, this is the last pizza you will ever have, and it should be sort of what you always hoped pizza would be. It would be some kind of New York style inspired, thin, crispy, but also doughy crust. The right amount of sauce, just the right, not too little, not too much. A mozzarella cheese that is baked a little more than what you think it should be, and pepperoni.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's it. That is the platonic ideal of pizza. You can add a little bit of Parmesan. You could definitely add crushed red pepper. You can even add a little oregano. That's up to you.
I agree with that. I mean, I agree. That's a good slice of 2 slices of pizza and a Coke, which was like a big part of my meal life growing up in New York. Is that